Hi, my name is Oren Soffer, and I'm the cinematographer on this commercial for Mercedes-AMG titled New Light. This first shot here is a great example of how the extensive previs work that the team at the ARTERY was able to do for us. We actually had a full CG mock-up of this shot before we even shot it. And because of their extensive previs work on the spot, we were actually able to sort of pre-select a lens for this shot before we even went on set. So knowing our exact lens, focal length, and camera angle, all we really had to capture on set were the live action elements of the car and the couple walking towards it. Our lighting was based on the previs and based on the lighting in the CG model. And so all of this was really just a matter of matching it on set as close as we possibly could to the mocked up CG version of the shot. The initial pitch for the spot was we knew that it was going to take place at night with a strong moonlight motif. That was sort of the premise of the whole commercial. This specific moment with the moon reflected in the woman's glasses was in the original boards and in the original previs. So we knew we wanted to capture it on set, at least in a way to reference the position of the moon. In the final shot, the moon is, of course, replaced in CG, but we did still want to capture a reference on set for the positioning of the moon in the glasses. So in order to accomplish this, the grip team actually cut a perfectly circular hole in a piece of foam core. We put a piece of diffusion within the circle and lit it from behind with an aperture 600D. In order to create a glow in the rough size and shape of the moon where we knew we wanted it to land in the reflection. Going into scouting our road location, which was in Malibu, we knew going into it that we were only going to really need the car and the road, and the surrounding environment was pretty much mostly going to be replaced anyway. So that really helped us focus our scouts on, just getting the shape of the road right and the position of the car relative to the camera angle. And we didn't really worry about, especially what was in the deep background. The plan for this spot always involved complementing our running footage of the car on location in Malibu with interiors shot on a stage. In order to light these interiors, my approach was actually to recreate the feeling of the exterior lighting conditions of the shots on the road, as opposed to trying to artificially create a moonlight look on the stage. The goal was for the interior shots to also have a daylit sunlight look, and then go through the same color grading process as the exteriors to create a cohesive day for night look for the entire spot, both for the exterior shots on location and the interior shots on the stage. So the director VICO, SHARABANI, had pretty much already honed in on this general aesthetic. We knew that it was going to be elevated and stylized. We knew that we weren't necessarily approaching for realism. There are a number of fully CG shots in the spot, including the shot of the sunflowers, as well as the sundial that kind of turns into the RPM. Those shots were fully executed by the ARTERY, and actually, because of the tight turnaround on the commercial, they had started work on those shots even before I came on board the commercial. This look obviously is very heavily reliant on the color grade. Actually on set, you can see the before and after photos. Like, our only goal on set was just to make sure we were capturing as much information as possible, shooting in RAW, making sure that we retained as much shadow and highlight detail as we could, both on the Alexa Mini and the DJI Inspire 3 drone that we shot a lot of the running car footage on. This was all knowing that we would have to really dig into the footage with our colorist, Jared Rosenthal, to fully embrace and capture this day for night aesthetic, lifting as many details out of the car as possible and the environment as needed, but bringing down highlights and really kind of crunching everything into this narrower band to create more of a nighttime moonlight effect. And of course, this all worked in conjunction with the visual effects that were happening in the backgrounds as well. Looking at references is always a really important part of the process to hone in on specifics, especially when working with the colorist. We really wanted to look at cinema to find even more specific references for shades of blue and orange that would really enhance the look of the spot. We looked at some of Roger Deakins' dusk and night work. True Grit was actually a really helpful and useful reference for us to find that exact shade of blue, as well as other films as varied as The Green Knight and Maleficent. We did end up looking more towards fantasy films to sort of find that color scheme that was a little bit more elevated and stylized. But we sort of landed on Mad Max Fury Road with really deep, rich blues, embracing the hard shadows of the harsh sunlight, and just letting things exist in this sort of elevated fantasy world. I think pre-production is probably the most important stage of filmmaking. The more time that you have to really dream about a project, which is a phrase that I'm stealing from Denis Villeneuve, the better the end result is. I think there is something to be said about spontaneity and discovery on set. That is also a very important part of filmmaking. But I do think that robust and solid pre-planning and really spending a lot of time thinking about and living with a project only frees you up for even more spontaneity to react to things on set and sort of deviate from a well thought out plan. And I do think that this extends to commercials as well. I mean, I view commercials as just as valid a filmmaking art form as any other music video, narrative, or short films. So whenever we have the opportunity to deliver something that's more elevated and we sort of get the permission structure to do so, I think it's always fun to give it the same amount of thought and care and really rise to the occasion. For me as a DP, that's always just such a pleasure to step into that kind of world and to have that kind of opportunity to really bring something more to what could otherwise just be a pretty straightforward car spot.
Shining sun. Thank you for the sunshine.